Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise and give you the real structural insights from the sources that matter. Today, we've got something crucial for anyone keeping tabs on the early season: the full injury and absence report for Premier League Game Week 6. This just dropped September 24th.
Yeah, and this is it's a deep dive into, well, volatility, really. Our goal today isn't just reading names off a list. We're looking for patterns,
Yeah.
How severe are these injuries? Which teams are really feeling the pinch tactically? And what does it all mean for the table this weekend?
And this report covers everyone, right? Every single match from Saturday to Monday night.
Every single one. From Brentford versus Man United kicking things off, right through to Everton hosting West Ham on Monday. It's comprehensive.
Okay, good. So let's dive in. Where should we start? Maybe with the biggest games, the highest profile absences.
Makes sense. You often see the main narrative shape there. And Manchester United heading to Brentford is a perfect storm, you could say. Dual crisis brewing.
Right, they've got problems in different areas. Casemiro's out.
Yeah, Casemiro's suspended. That's discipline, not injury. So they lose that that presence, that disruptive force in midfield immediately.
But the injury news is maybe more worrying long-term. Lisandro Martinez, confirmed out.
Confirmed out, knee injury. And look, tactically, he's just fundamental for how they want to play.
He really is. He's not just a defender. He's the one who steps out, wins the ball back high up.
Exactly. He enables that high line. Without him, you often see United drop deeper, become more cautious. And add to that, Diogo Dalot is listed as doubtful. Muscle issue.
So potentially two key defensive pieces missing or limited.
Suddenly that defense looks, well, pretty stretched.
Yeah.
And missing its aggressive edge.
Okay, let's shift to Sunday. Newcastle versus Arsenal. Huge game. If United's dealing with immediate hits, Arsenal sounds like they're facing something more structural, more long-term.
That's exactly the difference. Tactical headache for United this week, maybe. But for Arsenal, it feels like a fundamental shift might be needed. 4 players confirmed out.
4 confirmed, and some big names in there.
Big names, big injuries. The really devastating one is Gabriel Jesus, ACL injury.
Oh, wow. ACL this early in the season.
Yeah, that's not a few weeks out. That changes their whole attacking plan for, well, most of the season probably.
You lose your main striker, your focal point. You immediately have to rethink where the goals come from, how the attack even moves.
Precisely. And he's not the only one. Kai Havertz, knee. Noni Madueke, also knee. Piero Hincapié, groin strain. It's a cluster of issues there.
Knees and soft tissue. And wasn't there a doubt over Odegaard, too?
Yeah, their captain, Martin Odegaard, listed as doubtful with a shoulder problem. If he's out, too, you're losing your main goal threat and your chief creator. That's tough.
And on the other side, Newcastle, they're not unscathed either, are they?
No, fewer names maybe, but significant ones. Yohan Wissa, knee. Jacob Ramsey, ankle. And Fabian Schär with that head injury, which is always concerning. Test their depth at home, for sure.
Right. Okay, what about the late Saturday game? Spurs against Wolves. You mentioned Arsenal's attacking issues, but Spurs sound like they're in a similar boat.
They really are. Maybe the only club facing quite the same severity in those critical forward areas right now.
James Maddison, another ACL.
Confirmed. Second massive ACL casualty we're discussing just for this week. And Dejan Kulusevski, also confirmed out. Knee injury for him.
Losing Maddison, I mean, he's been their spark, hasn't he? The one who unlocks the defenses.
He absolutely has. That creativity, that final ball. Losing him and Kulusevski together, that's a huge chunk of their offensive threat just gone.
And there's uncertainty beyond that for Spurs, too.
Yeah, that's the other thing. 4 players listed as doubtful, including Dominic Solanke with an ankle issue and Randall Kolo Muani thigh problem. So the manager's got a real puzzle putting that lineup together against Wolves. Bit of a gamble involved.
Okay, so we've hit the big names, Jesus, Maddison, Martinez. Those absences change narratives, but some teams aren't just missing quality, they're missing sheer quantity, right?
Yeah.
Which clubs are facing the biggest depth tests this week?
Exactly. We move from those headline injuries to the aggregate crisis, you could say. And Chelsea jumps right off the page.
How many for them?
7 confirmed outs. One of the longest lists in the league right now. And what's worrying is the type of injuries clustering. Levi Colwill, knee. Then you've got Liam Delap and Dario Sugo both out with thigh injuries. Soft tissue stuff.
And didn't Chelsea also have suspension issues adding to the headache?
They do, compounding the problem. Mykhailo Mudryk and Robert Sanchez, their goalkeeper, are both suspended for Game Week 6 against Brighton.
So 7 out in total, but 2 of those are definite enforced changes because of discipline.
Exactly. Not just squad depth tested, but the starting 11 immediately impacted by those bans.
Okay, who else is struggling with numbers? Crystal Palace, maybe? They've got Liverpool coming up.
Yeah, Palace is another one, 6 confirmed outs for them, and it really hits their specific game plan hard.
How so?
Well, Palace often rely on being solid defensively and using Odson Edouard as that outlet, holding the ball up.
Mhm.
But they lose Chadi Riyad and Chik Dukur, both key defensive figures, to knee injuries. And then the big one. Edouard himself is out. Severe Achilles injury. That's a long-term problem. So, facing Liverpool without your main striker and key defensive midfielders, that's really tough. Cripples their usual approach.
Wow. And Sunderland were mentioned too, also a high number.
Yeah, Sunderland matched Chelsea with 7 confirmed outs for their game against Forest.
What's the situation there? Is it clustered in one area?
It's actually quite spread out, which suggests maybe a wider issue. You've got 2 shoulder injuries, Aji Elise, Lukunan, then thigh, groin, wrist problems, and a suspension, too, for Reynaldo.
So it's not like one position group is decimated. It's bits and pieces across the whole squad.
Exactly. Forces the manager to really dig deep into the reserves across the board for this game week.
Even Man City, known for their depth, aren't immune, are they? They've got 5 out for the Burnley match.
Yeah, 5 confirmed outs for City. Includes Omar Marmush with a knee issue, Ryan Cherky with a thigh problem. It just shows, no matter how deep your squad is, injuries pile up and still cause tactical adjustments.
Which brings us back nicely to separating injuries from discipline. You mentioned a few suspensions already. How many are out purely for disciplinary reasons this week?
It's a really important distinction. These players are fit, ready to play, but unavailable. And there were 6 of them in total for GW6.
Okay, let's listen. We had Casemiro at Man United.
Yep. Then the Chelsea pair, Mikhailo Mudryk and Robert Sanchez.
Right. Liverpool have one too.
Hugo Ekitike for Liverpool. Then Reynaldo at Sunderland, who we just mentioned. And finally, Tomas Souček at West Ham.
So that's 6 key players spread across big clubs, missing just because of cards.
Yep.
Managers must hate that.
Oh, absolutely. A suspension forces a change for maybe one game, disrupts rhythm. But a serious injury, like some we've discussed, that dictates your strategy for months. And when you look at all the medical data together across all the teams.
Yeah. What's the big picture? What trend really stands out from this report?
Knees. It's overwhelmingly knees causing the most severe problems.
Yeah.
That suggest impact, twists, maybe accumulated stress.
Like Martinez at United.
Martinez, yeah. Solly March at Brighton. Ziki Amdouni at Burnley. Havertz and Kulusevski, who we talked about. All knee issues. And then the really bad ones, the ACLs for Gabriel Jesus and James Maddison. Season-altering stuff.
And after knees, what's the next biggest cluster? You mentioned soft tissue for Chelsea.
Yeah, muscle, thigh, groin injuries, lots of those scattered around. Ryan Cherky at City, Liam Delap at Chelsea, Yuri Tielemans at Villa.
What does that usually point to? So many soft tissue problems just 6 weeks in.
Well, it often raises questions, doesn't it? Is it preseason prep? Or maybe, more likely, is it about managing player load once the games start coming thick and fast?
So the intensity is already taking a toll.
The data suggests player load is becoming a critical factor already. Managers are juggling keeping players fresh versus needing their best players on the pitch. It's a tough balance.
Feels like the bodies maybe haven't quite caught up to the schedule's demands yet.
Could be. And, amidst all these common injuries, you always get a couple of outliers. Ross Barkley's personal absence at Aston Villa is unusual phrasing for these reports. And Fabian Schär's head injury at Newcastle is obviously a reminder of the seriousness of contact injuries.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the teams struggling, but surely someone's doing okay. Who's looking relatively healthy heading into game week 6?
Yeah, let's give credit where it's due. The stability champions this week, Everton and Fulham.
Really? How good is their situation?
Both clubs have 0 confirmed outs on this report. 0. Fulham only lists Kevin as doubtful shoulder issue. Everton have just 2 doubtfuls, Merlin Roll with a groin problem and Jared Branthwaite, hamstring.
So compared to everyone else, they have the luxury of choice, basically.
Pretty much. They can pick their strongest available team, more or less. That's the kind of stability most other teams, especially those near the top, just don't have right now.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. We've looked at the big names out, the teams drowning in numbers, the injury types. What's the main takeaway for you, looking at GW6 through this lens?
I think the key thing is this sort of simultaneous chaos hitting the league. It's driven by 2 distinct things happening at once.
Okay.
First, you've got those suspensions forcing immediate one-week changes at big clubs, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, West Ham. Tactical tweaks needed right now.
And the second thing.
Second, and probably more important for the whole season, is this worrying wave of major long-term injuries, especially those ACLs. Plus, that cluster of early-season muscle strains. This isn't just a blip for GW6, it's setting a new reality for these clubs heading into autumn.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? With so many severe knee injuries, so many muscle problems already, how much is just down to the relentless schedule, the intensity? If those soft tissue issues are linked to load management, like you said, and the schedule only gets busier, what does all this enforced change injuries and suspensions actually mean for how the league table starts to settle? Could the title race end up being decided by who has the best medical team, not just the biggest budget? Something for you to definitely chew on as the games kick off this weekend. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the numbers. We'll be back soon with more analysis on what's really going on beneath the surface. Until then, keep digging.